Happy Friday, guys. End of the week, but not end of the NHL schedule as of yet. That happens next Thursday with a huge slate of games on Thursday nights, but still plenty at play. And we're going to do three games today. That's Montreal and Ottawa. Buster's on the show, so you got to have Montreal on there. Detroit and Tampa Bay. This game only important to one team now after the Red Wings were eliminated, and Minnesota and Calgary. The Flames with still a slight, and I mean a slight chance to make the playoffs. They need a lot to go their way. We're going to discuss that on the show today with returning after yesterday's fantastic performance by both these guys, Bryan Leonard and Don Buster. These guys, I guess I got to say, you guys really gave it to me in the group chat about being eliminated from the poker tournament yesterday. So I think Johnny put it best. Carm's a rec player. He just goes to have fun, and it's what I did. Made it to a level 11 before getting eliminated by some. Just gonna call him some stupid jackass Jets fan or whatever. Anyways, with that said, guys, Bry, I'll go to you first, man. How was your day yesterday? And give us a preview of what you've got up this weekend over at WagerTalk before we get into game one.
Well, I'm going to be very selective in my hockey because it's the end of the season. You don't know who's going to show. I used Colorado yesterday. I laid a 2-1 favor or $2 favorite, and they were never really in that game. That was my code to get the hell out while I can. Just at this time of the season, you don't know who is going to show and who's not. I would, overall, I think playing underdogs is probably the way to do it at this time. But we all know how it was when we were in school and summer vacation was coming up and we weren't going to be going on a major vacation with their parents somewhere. We just couldn't wait to get the hell out of there. And I think a lot of these teams are in that situation now, especially teams that were expected to do well and now they're be sitting on the sidelines. I was really surprised the Rangers performed as well as they did yesterday against the Islanders. I thought this is the chance for the Islanders to beat them and then finish ahead of them in the standings. And then the Rangers decided, oh, wait a minute, there's still hockey season going on, so we're gonna go out and score 9 goals. So, but I'll be very brief on my analysis today, and we'll take our winnings to the playoffs come next week.
The Islanders, dear God, man, they've allowed 16 goals, I think, in their last two games, 15 or 16 goals in their last two games. Forget about whatever advertising they have. They should have like aloe vera because it's like the goalie's neck is probably burnt from that red light being on so many times behind them. But Bry, you look at that the game yesterday with Colorado. I've been watching. I'm searching sites, watching news, listening to things, and there was no indication, no real indication that Nate McKinnon wasn't even going to play in the game. There's and he could sit this weekend. They're already talking about it. They discussed it during the game last night that Nate McKinnon might actually sit on the weekend as they rest guys up. And then the good news coming out of Colorado, Gabriel Landeskog, loaned to their minor league affiliate. And I think he either played last night or he plays on Saturday, but more conditioning. Man, that guy hasn't played since what, 2022? Was it the Stanley Cup Finals? I think in 2022, Buster. That's the last time we
It's
saw.
been a while. It's been a couple of years, I think, almost.
He's anywhere close to that version of what he was, and I know it's going to be tough. You can't be away for 2 years and expect everything to click right back in. But great news for Colorado. Great news for Landeskog if he can make a full, if it's a full recovery and he's back in time for the playoffs. That LTIR strikes again, but we'll see what happens with that. Buster, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Montreal plus 140 in Ottawa. The Sens minus 165. I'm going to make mine short and to the point on this one, Buster, where I'm going with this one. I am going to take the Ottawa Senators in the first period money line. It's minus 145, which is obviously cheaper than the buck 65. 6-3-1 their last 10 games at home. They've held the lead at the end of 20 minutes. 4-1 the last 5 games at home. They've held the lead after 20 minutes. The Montreal Canadiens last 5 games on the road, 0-3-2 after 20 minutes. They've been a scrappy team that comes back in the second and third periods. Their last 10 games, they've only held the lead after 20 minutes in one of them, going 1-4-5. But I will say this, they've swept the season series thus far against Ottawa. And in 2 of those 3 games, they held the lead after 20 minutes. But I'm going with the Sens here, Buster. So Sens first period for me, minus 145. Where are you going?
Well, Carmine, I would like to wish you good luck, but I can't do that, of course, against my Montreal Canadiens. But you make a good case for that play. There's no doubt about that. That is a good case for it. And I notice you don't do the Buster special. You don't do the puck line on that first period. Just do the money line because you could get a push out of that. So very good analysis, and it probably is a good play. But yeah, I won't be playing that. As we all know, a big game for Montreal, and it's a big game because it's got the hated Leafs tomorrow night. So, they need to play the Senators team again and have a good night. Ottawa has clinched the playoffs, so I think that does help Montreal a little bit here. They'll be in 7th or 8th because Montreal could catch them, especially if they can beat them tonight again. Montreal are, I think, there's like when those games in baseball when they're down to the wire, a combination. I think they just need a combination of 3 points with other teams. And yesterday's show, I believe they're sitting about 98%. But I'm a Montreal fan, and if you're a fan of any team, when even it looks good, it's not good till it is good. How's that? So, and Carmine, you mentioned Montreal has owned Ottawa this year, which that's good for tonight. They've won 4-1, 5-2, and 6-3. So the games haven't really been close. Even if you look at the games statistically in that, they've been, fairly close, but Montreal's been able to, sometimes teams have their number. You have to remember Montreal's number before this year. I think they had won 7 or 8 straight against Montreal. So, as the old saying goes, what goes around comes around. But that does mean Ottawa has that revenge in this spot. And me as a Montreal fan, that kind of scares me a bit, I'll have to admit. Montreal have won 6 straight games. Ottawa 3-3 in their last 6. Montreal, of course, are their more desperate club. And as you said, Carmine, you're getting 145. That's a pretty good price. I think Montreal is the play here, 145. I will not be playing them because of being a Montreal fan. I just will not play this at this time of the year. Come the playoffs, I'll be playing Montreal. But right now, I will watch this game because I actually do like the over a little bit better. Both teams, when they get together, they've gone 6 of the last 8 over this number of 5.5. So I do like that. And just in case Ottawa does get up a couple, Montreal's going to be pulling that goal. It doesn't really matter to Montreal. They could be down 3-1, and that can turn into 4-2 in a heartbeat. So that's on your side for the 5.5. Ottawa might play a little bit more open because they do have that clinching spot. They can't even catch, even if they get, I think they're ahead of New Jersey right now, but it doesn't matter because the way this playoff format's set up. So they're in 7th or 8th. I know they want to win to keep that 7th spot. So overall, I do like Montreal. Being a diehard Montreal fan, I'm hoping they can win this game tonight. So that way, they'll get a combination of other teams losing and they can make the playoffs. But I do like this over the 5.5.
Yeah. Bryan, excuse me. Bryan, put on your tinfoil hat with me for a second, Bryan. These teams sit essentially in 7th and 8th spots because New Jersey has 3rd spot in the Metro locked up, and they'll play the Carolina Hurricanes in the first round. But if you're the Ottawa Senators and Montreal Canadiens, specifically the Ottawa Senators, but who would you rather play in the first round? Now that they know that they're going to be in the playoffs, would you rather play the Washington Capitals or would you rather play the Toronto Maple Leafs? Ottawa fares well against the Leafs, so we got to give them that. They seem to have the Leafs number, but how would you look at this game, and does that even come into consideration, or you just toss that tinfoil hat aside and say, this is the way I'm going to play it?
Yeah, Ottawa's just happy to be there, and I don't think it matters who they're playing. Washington struggled a little bit lately. They're having some goalie problems. I don't think they matter who they play, although Montreal, I think it matters who they play if they make the playoffs, because if they finish in 7th place, they're going to get to play the Toronto Maple Leafs. You got to think Montreal wants to play the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's their big rival. And to knock the Maple Leafs out of the playoffs in this rare occurrence where the Canadiens can make the playoffs, you've got to think that's something. I'm tickled to death to see that happen. I like Montreal here. Unfortunately, the numbers that were quoted are no longer there. If I get a 145 on Montreal right now, I'm putting my house on it, and I'm coming back and laying the 136, which is out there. And I'll worst I do is break even, and the best I do is make some profit. That's the way I do it. There's been a ton of money coming in on Montreal. I talked about this yesterday. The most important seed is the final seed. You're either in the playoffs or you're not. Montreal wins, they will be in. Ottawa, I don't think it matters to them. Sure, they want to beat Montreal because they haven't, but to them, that's not their concern. They're in the lower half. They're going to have to win a couple series before they could even meet Montreal, because Montreal will likely be a huge underdog, just like Ottawa will be an underdog to whoever they play. I like the Montreal team. I like the situation. This is still a team that needs to win, whereas Ottawa can sit back. And I like that situation. Problem is, the line is long gone. So it'll be my best bet on tonight's card, but it won't make my card. As I mentioned, I'm going to pass because it's just the value's not there on this one. But if I had to play anything tonight, I'd play Montreal. Like the way they're playing right now, they're really shooting for something. And if a win here would put them tied, regulation win would put them tied with the Devils, and only 1 point behind Ottawa. So they're still got a lot of. They've been in a playoff mode for a while. I'd prefer that over the Ottawa side here.
All right. There you have it. Brian's thoughts on the Montreal Canadiens and Ottawa Senators, the all-Canadian battle. These teams don't like each other, so hopefully it's an entertaining game tonight. With that said, I'm not sure how entertaining this game is going to be. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Detroit Red Wings, but with a short card, we had to discuss it. I put it on the card yesterday with the thought that if, in the event Detroit got a win in Florida, they would still be alive for a wild card spot. But no, back-to-back 4-1 losses on the road. The team just can't seem to win on the road. Brian, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Can't lay 290. Can't even lay the regulation line. I'm looking at it this way. Tampa's going to win this game, and their team total's 3.5, minus 140. That's going to soar. It's going to go to 150, 160. If you can grab it early, I think the 3.5 is good here. Their last, I think, 11 wins at home, 9 of them, they've scored 4 or more goals. They're coming off a 4-3 loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs in OT, which was their first game back after a road trip. I look at them to likely start resting some players, but I don't think that happens tonight. I think you see them rest on the weekend. And with that said, team total for me, Tampa gets it done tonight, and some points for Kucherov as he looks to lock up the Art Ross, especially if McKinnon is resting. Give me your thoughts, Brian, on this one.
Detroit 1-10 their last 11 road games. They're playing against this Tampa Bay team who is looking for the playoffs. They're currently at number 4, 1 point ahead of Florida. They're tied with Carolina. So this is still a must-win category for Tampa Bay. They are currently in 4th, which means the last home ice in the first round. And Detroit has not shown anything. Detroit, you take a look, and I do a lot of the the last 30 days in expected goals. Detroit, 52.67, but they got a losing record. They are dominating play and they can't win. It's not a part that I want to be a part of tonight, but I'm also not going to lay this number with Tampa. Tampa gets the victory. I think regulation's probably the way to go. Still, you're laying a high price number here based on the way Detroit has played. If I played it, I'd play Tampa Bay. I'm not going to play it. I don't want any part of Detroit. They gave it their shot, and they're out now, and they know they're terrible on the road, and it's a situation for the Red Wings where they're playing in the second of a back-to-back. So that doesn't help at all either. And out of their final games, they play one game at home. That's Monday against Dallas. We'll probably see a good effort out of the Red Wings, the final home game at home on the season. And then they finish the year off at New Jersey and at Toronto. They're not going to win this game. I would look for Detroit against Dallas on Monday, maybe a better spot there. Other than that, I want no part of this Red Wings team.
I don't blame you. I know Johnny Detroit's frustrated by them. Keep your season tickets, Johnny. Do not give them away. Brian, I have a fix before I go to Buster for his thoughts on this one. I have a fix for the off season for the Detroit Red Wings. One move that could get this team into the playoffs. Now, this is me putting on my tinfoil hat, being delusional. Call me what you want to call me in the chat, guys. They need a goalie. And it's like I said to Johnny, they need he knows they need a goalie. Restricted free agent this summer. And they're not going to let him go, but if you sweeten the deal, they might. The Dallas Stars, Jake Ottinger, a restricted free agent. You're going to have to throw open the vault door, Steve Yzerman, throw a lot of money at Dallas, throw a lot of prospects because he's a restricted free agent. And who knows? Maybe Jake looks for, especially if the Dallas Stars get bounced in the first round, let's say hypothetically, first round of the playoffs, which will be a huge disappointment for them. If they get bounced, maybe we see Ottinger. Bri, any thoughts? Or am I just delusional?
That's beyond my payroll. I don't know.
The delusional part or the trade part?
Yeah, pretty much all of it. I like Ottinger, no doubt about it, but I don't put a lot of faith from year to year to the goalies because one year they're great, the next year they stink. I wouldn't give away too much to get another goalie in there. They obviously need another goalie, but don't sell out your future just because Detroit's, even if they do make the playoffs, Detroit's not a team that's going to advance far at this point.
All right, Buster, over to you, man. Is this a Buster special game?
It looks like it is, Carmine, because just one little comment. Yeah, you're right. Detroit does need a goaltender, and like one good defenseman, one more good defenseman, one more good guy on the offense because they have a nice team. I was a little bit surprised that they aren't sitting where my Montreal team is. I figured for sure they're going to make the playoffs this year. They have a nice club, so they're going to have to do a little inside looking at themselves this summer. That's for sure. I can talk about this exactly. You can replay the tape that I said yesterday with the Detroit-Florida game, and that would be almost a similar analysis on tonight. But the only difference is now Detroit is playing that third game in 4 nights. They're on a back-to-back. They're officially out of the playoffs. So, and they only have themselves to blame. They did go 6-14 down the stretch. And like I say, a team that I really thought that were going to have a really good year this year. It is disappointing for any Detroit fans. Tampa Bay, as Brian has mentioned, they need points. They're playing for playoff position still. So I think it is an important game to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay have won 2 of the 3 games against Detroit this year, and this is just a real bad spot, right? And how much does I said yesterday? I didn't think Detroit had anything left after Montreal beat them, kind of put that nail in their coffin the night on Tuesday, I believe it was. So really, what they have, it's going to be really tough. And Brian has already mentioned, I mentioned last night, they were 1-9 the last 10. Now they're 1-10 on the road the last 10. Tampa Bay 11-2 the last 13 at home. Now it's come down to, how do you bet this game? Well, yeah, you're not laying the 275, 280. You never know with teams like Detroit that maybe they just somehow get up for this game. I don't see it. Can't bet them in regulation because you bet Florida last night. Regulation goes about 135, 140. They're 180, 185 now. And even the minus 1.5, I believe, is at even money or something. But I do like Buster Special here. I think Tampa Bay for that first period, Detroit, their third road game, their leg worry, not really caring too much after last night's loss. And I like Tampa Bay to come out with some purpose because they want to win this game. So that will be my play on this one is Tampa Bay first period on the puck line, plus 115. As far as the total, I don't know if people want to be betting this total because it's kind of all over the place. I said yesterday the 5.5 was tough. I believe the 6 is tough here. They've played the games they played. I think they played 1 over, 1 under, or 2 overs and 1 under. They went 2-1 to the over this year so far. So I don't know. Detroit trends under, Tampa Bay trends over. The total's a direct pass for me. Give me Tampa Bay for the first period on the puck line.
All right, I'll just take 4 Tampa Bay goals in the first period, cash that team total, and
Nice.
move on to a different game, which is what we're going to do right now, Buster. I'm going to go to you on this one. Minnesota and Calgary. Chances are slim for Calgary. There's a way for them to get in, but I just don't see it happening right now. Calgary plus 105 at home, Minnesota minus 125 in Calgary. I think the books agree that the chances are slim for the Calgary Flames. They need to win this game in regulation as well, too. They can't afford to give Minnesota 1 point in this one. I'm leaning wild on this one. I'm going to go in the way of where the money is going here, which is on Minnesota. They look good, and in their last couple of games, they're coming around. They're getting healthy and are healthy, and I think that bodes well for them come playoff time as well too. So, with that said, wild for me, 125. Buster.
Yeah, you know what, Carmine? I have to disagree with you on the game only because I don't think Minnesota has been playing that well at all. They just beat San Jose 8-7 in overtime. They won another game in overtime. They're 2-4 their last 6. I don't think they've had a regulation win since March 27th or something. So, yeah, I'm not sure how well they're playing, but yeah, Calgary, again, this massive game from they just have to win out, obviously. They are back 5 points on St. Louis and of Minnesota. They have to win tonight or they're done. They probably are done, but hey, stranger things have happened, right? And Calgary's owned this club this year. They've won 5-4, 4-3, 3-1. And but again, just almost kind of like the Montreal game, with Ottawa having that revenge, Minnesota does have that revenge here. And how's Calgary going to react after that meltdown the other night? That was just brutal. I know it only cost them a point, but that point could really come back to haunt them. That's for sure. Again, like I just think about that. Like I still have scar tissue from that game because I lost. I can't imagine being on the Flames. I have to believe when they got up 3-1 with 3 minutes left, they just kind of sat back. I think they already believed they won, and they were kind of already looking at Minnesota. Then guess what? You know what? They scored 2 goals in 9 seconds. So that's my pause on this game. Why I don't really love Calgary here, but you have to like getting plus money here. Like, what's Minnesota done to deserve to be favored here? Really, to me, I don't know. I just don't get it. So I do like Calgary in this one. As far as the total, yeah, I'm going to pass the total here at 5.5. Should be a playoff type game. So basically, I know Calgary plays a lot of unders, and they've actually gone 6 out of 7 under. So for me, I pass the total, but I do like Calgary. Hate to go against you, brother, but you know.
fine. Brian, you look at Minnesota and, starting to get healthy come playoff time, and that's all you can ask for. Get into a
Yep.
playoff spot, have your team healthy, and move on. It was a terrible trip for them to the state of New York, where they lose to New Jersey twice. They lose to the New York Islanders, and they lose to the Rangers. But they return home and put in a really good one against the Dallas Stars, beating the Stars in OT. And then they did what they had to do, which was score a ton of goals to beat the San Jose Sharks 8-7. That was on a weird night of NHL. It's been a weird week in general in the NHL, with a ton of goals in some games and then a lot of low scoring games as well too. But this is one where they're afforded the opportunity to rest some players if they win tonight, or even pick up a point. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, they're 5 points ahead of Calgary. Calgary's got one game in hand. Calgary needs to win. Obviously, they need to win all their games to have a chance. I want to back a team that's still in the need to win category. Minnesota does not need to win. They got 93 points along with St. Louis, which is 5 points ahead of Calgary. The three teams you don't want to play in the first round of the Western Conference, I believe, are Winnipeg, Dallas, and Vegas. Colorado is the fourth right now with home ice. The Kings are fifth. Minnesota could sit anywhere in there in that range, and they're still going to end up having to pay one of those three teams. I don't think it matters to them. Sure, you want to come out and play better. They brought in some guys that are healthy now. You expect them to be better, but they don't need it like Calgary needs it. And if I'm Calgary and I'm still playing for the playoffs, if I'm playing a team that we have won every time I've played them this year, that gives me a lot of confidence. I prefer the Calgary side as the home dog here. Minnesota's the better team, and they will be in the playoffs, but it's a situation for me where they, as you mentioned, could rest players. They could fall behind and then all of a sudden say, okay, well, this isn't the game for us. We'll just rest players as much as we can the rest of the way out and look at another day. But there is no other day for Calgary if they don't win this one. So to catch them as a home underdog here, I think is a little bit of a bargain.
All right, there you have it. 2 versus 1 on this game. So let's see if I can get the better of you guys on this one. But tell me, if you're a Minnesota Wild fan, you're not overjoyed that Kirill is back in the lineup. Kaprizov, man, he had 16 shot attempts in that game against San Jose, 9 shots on goal, soars over his number, gets a couple goals, 1 assist. Welcome back to the lineup for the Minnesota Wild. And he's going to be a big player for them. He was a big miss for them as well, too, while they were struggling. So they're happy to have him back in the lineup. Get him another game tonight. Maybe look at the Kaprizov shots on goal prop as well tonight, because this guy came out and firing. 8-7 game. There's going to be a lot of stat padding, of course, but he was a big part of that win for Minnesota. So we'll see moving forward. All right, boys. I can guarantee this 6 and 60 segment cannot be any worse than last Saturday's. So that's all I'm going to say. This is the last 6 and 60 of the year or the season. Hopefully we can get this one to go off without a hitch and have a good day. I'm taking into account that some players could be sitting on Saturday from searching team websites and reports as well too that are coming out of each franchise. So with that said, Dan, cue it up. 60 seconds. Washington and Columbus. Caps are locked into the number 1 seed. Columbus at home, 27-12 with first period overs. There was an over yesterday against the Buffalo Sabres. Let's take the first period over in this one. Isles and Flyers. Nothing to play for except pride and stat padding. Isles have allowed 16 goals in their last 2 games. Give me the over in this one. Colorado and the LA Kings. McKinnon is likely to rest, as they're reporting. Kings have been just phenomenal at home all season long. Kings money line for me. Winnipeg and Chicago. Jets officially lock up the number 1 seed with 1 point on Saturday. 8-0 though to the under their last 8 games. Give me the under in this one. Minnesota and Vancouver. Give me the Canucks money line. While they're on the second of a back-to-back and may have clinched a playoff spot by the time this game gets played on Saturday. Nashville and Vegas. Give me the over. Preds suddenly have found some offense. It's just a little too late. The Hill's going to get the night off. It looks like it's going to be Schmidt in goal. And Preds 4-1 to the over their last 5 games. That is your 6-60. Bry? 0-6, 1-5, 2-4, 3-3, 4-2, 5-1, or 6-0. I think you're muted.
Yes,
Brian
my
didn't
cat,
want
my
to tell
cat
me
is going
0-6,
crazy,
so he
so I had to
mouthed
be.
the words.
Yeah, I wasn't paying much attention to it, to be honest with you. So I'll give you a 6-0.
All right, 6-0. That would be an awesome way to end it. Buster, let's get your prediction. And Buster's muted as well, too.
Anytime you're
Welcome
talking,
to
we
Mute
put our mute
Time
on. That's just the way it is.
Sorry. 4-2. I heard Brian's cat, and I thought there was something going on outside here in Mexico.
Oh God, I just feel like muting myself as well too, just so we make it a perfect 3-0. But guys, with
Give it time. It'll
with that
happen,
said,
Carmine. Give it time. You'll mute yourself.
yeah. First of all, our live chat's absolutely fantastic. You guys are doing a great job sharing info and chatting with one another. Titan CT. If you're listening to this message, fire me off a message on the X or Twitter, a DM with your address. I'm going to send you a PuckTime t-shirt. And for the rest of the guys, I will have some contests during the playoffs. So don't worry about that. I'm going to be doing a bankroll challenge that kicks off on Monday, 14 days while I'm traveling through Italy, 14 days bankroll challenge. Make sure you subscribe to the WagerTalk channel, 200K. We're almost there at 200K in followers, and it'll be on their YouTube Shorts channels as well as my Instagram and my TikTok channels. So make sure you give those a follow as well. With that said, Buster, I'm going to go to you first. What do you got up at WagerTalk for today and this weekend? And give us a show best bet.
Okay, thank you, Carmine. Yeah, we have that flex pack as we talked about yesterday. That's they have a good deal on that, and that's for all the cappers at WagerTalk. So you go over the site and check that out. For us tonight, we have MLB, NHL double play going. Had a nice 4% winner last night in MLB again. Had another bad break in NHL with an overtime loss. But that's been par for the course, unfortunately, this year in the NHL. Looking forward to the playoffs, to have a big fight back, and hopefully me and the hockey gods can have a little conversation going here to help us have a big playoff there. Gotta love Brian's cat. So go over to Don Buster at WagerTalk.com and check that out. Our show play is going to be a play that we talked about. As you said, Carmine, it's a short slate tonight. So our show play is going to be that Tampa Bay first period on the puck line, plus 115. Worked yesterday for us. We gave up Vegas doing the Buster special, so might as well end the week with the Buster special on Tampa Bay. So, yeah, again, we'd already talked about it. Just think Detroit's probably done for the year. Third game in 4 nights, leg worry on the road. So, and Tampa Bay needs this one. Looking for them to come out, as Carmine said, maybe with a nice 4-0 lead, so we both win our bets. As always, thank you, Carmine. Great seeing you again, Brian. I probably won't see you again on a show till next year. So best of luck in the playoffs for you. And as always, best of luck to everyone with your plays tonight, and have a great day.
Best of luck to you. I'm going to miss that background. Your background there. It's that eye chart thing that just ruins all of the rods and cones in my eyes. But we'll get you a new backdrop, maybe something with a Maple Leaf logo on it or something. Bry, what do you got up at WagerTalk for today? I know you're taking it a slim or watered down approach the last week of the NHL season with players sitting out. But what do you have up in baseball? What's going on?
Yeah, passing in hockey today. My best bet on the show will be the Montreal side. We talked about that a little bit earlier. If you missed it, you can go back. I think it's the first game we discussed. Yeah, I've got a full slate of baseball. Baseball's picking up again. I had the Angels yesterday, a nice, easy winner. And I really like the card today. A lot of good values in Major League Baseball. As soon as I get off of this, before I start my next show in about an hour and a half, we will put up all of our plays in baseball and hopefully have a 4% play or so. So looking at that, just want to make some final touches, and that'll all be up within half an hour, I believe.
All right. Best of luck to you. You not only this weekend, Brian, but the rest of obviously baseball season. That's just getting started, of course, and the NHL playoffs. My play is going to be, I'm going to go right back to that first game. I think the numbers suit it well. I like Ottawa in this spot. I want to take them in the opening 20 minutes against the Montreal Canadiens. They need to get a W against this Canadiens team. I don't think it bothers them whether they get swept by the Canadiens in this one, but get off to a good opening start. As I mentioned, 4-1 their last 5 games at home. They've held the lead after a period 6-3-1 their last 10. And the Canadiens, no leads after 20 minutes in the last 5 on the road, 0-3-2, and only 1-4-5 the last 10 games on the road. So give me Ottawa first period -145. I've got a 4% play up tonight in the NHL. 3-1 night last night in the NHL, 5-1 overall. Let's get rolling into the playoffs. That play will be available on WagerTalk shortly. Just need to get another play up along with it. Big soccer weekend for me, guys. So maybe pick up the 3-day all access and get all NHL plays, all hockey plays, all soccer plays throughout the weekend. And that's it. I'll see you guys on Monday. Andrew returns to the hosting chair on Tuesday. I'm going to do Monday's show, and then I am heading to the airport and off to Italy. So for myself, Don Buster, Brian Leonard, and our award-winning producer, Dan Alexander, this is Puck Time, guys. Have a great and safe weekend.